We would just want to check the YouTube feed
We
real fast.
probably should. It's probably for the best. But we're live.
We're live on YouTube.
Whether our voices are live or just our beautiful beards.
Beards are live.
Oh, beards are us. Look, so we got to get Johnny Jalopy to fill in a beard now on your.
I know. Sherry was saying that she saw some like beard stuff on that she was thinking of getting me for Christmas.
Beard
she's like
stuff,
like oils and
stuff.
balm and stuff. And she's like, but I don't know how long you're like planning on keeping this or whatever.
That's
and I was like, I don't know either. So
I'm telling you, man,
I know you're a big fan.
Beards or bust.
Beards or bust.
I'll tell you though, I'm starting to get. Oh, look at that. We can hear us.
That she was thinking of getting me for Christmas. Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. Yeah, all right. Look at us getting it the first time. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah, I'm getting less. You know, the beard is there, and it's I feel pretty confident about it. But in certain lights, I'm certainly seeing different colors happening.
For me or for you?
For me.
Yeah, I have right down here. I can see. At first, I thought it was a blonde hair, but it's not.
I've got several grays. I've actually got several reds. Actually,
okay.
In there. But yeah, I've got more grays in my beard than I do in my hair right now,
which is like ditto for me, which is why I'm like, maybe not, because I don't want to have.
I guess, but whatever. I don't know. I feel like salt and pepper beards. It just makes you look.
But like ginger
with your preppy look right now.
Ginger and gray beards. I don't know if ginger and pepper, ginger and salt go well together.
Now that you mention it, I'm trying to think of a ginger gray beard.
Yeah, see, you can see right in here. There's a little bit coming in there. Yeah, so
you keep it going. Maybe we should put a poll out there.
Yeah, put a poll out there for all the people watching live on the YouTube.
And
millions and millions. All right, let's get this started.
Let's get it started. DCMA. You're not gonna tease them.
I just didn't want to lose it.
Oh,
so
okay, that's fair.
Darn it. All right, here we go. On this episode of BanthaMilk Podcast, Nick talks about a video game.
Yeah, I do.
And I talk about an old movie.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I do. Intro music.
Wait, that's not it.
What? He's no good to me, Dad.
Intro music. Intro music.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Not as complicated as it used to be, though.
No,
right? Because look at us. We got to set up first time. We barely tried.
We barely tried. As we do everything, we barely try.
That's the BanthaMilk way, right?
That is the BanthaMilk way.
But we are back. Someone just swerved their car off the road, and again,
stop it.
This is what happens when we don't have the soundboard.
Yes,
bummer. I got to get on it.
You have to get on that.
Yeah, I've been trying to get that figured out, and then I see a shiny squirrel, and all of a sudden,
and then you forget about it. Yeah, I understand.
Which is my life. But anyway, we are back with another episode of BanthaMilk Podcast.
Yes,
it's a weird way to say BanthaMilk. BanthaMilk.
BanthaMilk Podcast.
Huh?
Milk Podcast.
It's like Captain Kirk saying, "We are here with BanthaMilk Podcast."
Bantha.
Some Star Wars fans are really angry.
Yeah, they're like,
what is this Trek garbage in my
Star
Wars
Trek
podcast?
is garbage, man. No Trekkies here.
Oh,
I
man,
like them both.
There was a great, I forget what exactly it was. It was someone just sent it to me. Oh, you know what it was? It was a clip from Ted. Do you remember that movie with the teddy bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Ted 2 because I saw Ted 1 and I didn't see this, but it was like they're driving through like a Comic-Con and like I guess some nerds are in cosplay crossing the street and they almost hit them and they get into this big argument, and then like someone in the car who almost hits them says something about Star Trek, and then they all just go, dude, not cool.
Not cool.
I'm so sorry about this. I'm embarrassed. It's a good clip. I just ruined it for all of you, but go check it out.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. You almost hit us, but once you compare us to Trekkies, forget about it.
That brings us together as fans. But how are you, Rob?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You look very. I said this earlier. You look very preppy and
today was, and I took it off because I got tired of having my collar closed. But it was bow ties or bow day today.
Oh,
so I had my wooden bow tie that I made on, and then this, and then. You like my scarf?
It's very nice. Is that one of those never-ending scarves?
It is, only because I knitted it myself.
Did you really?
I did. Yes.
Wow.
On a loom, on a plastic loom.
Oh, so you have a helper? Like a
Well,
is
no,
that what that is?
it's just this plastic loom, and then you just go, you run all the things down, and then you flip over the edge, and you run another stretch down, and you flip it over, and you just keep doing it, and then after like 3 or 4 or 5 hours, you wind up with something like this.
Well, all right. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it looks very comfortable.
it's very comfortable.
It's warm.
Yeah, so I if you watched Wednesday, the show on Netflix about Wednesday Adams, her roommate and it made her these things, and it was kind of like this thing, but then it also like pulled up and over their heads.
Oh, I like that.
And I said to Cameron, I go, I couldn't make that.
And
So I made one for Cameron a little bit better than this because the part that's supposed to go over your head, I made a little bit longer.
right.
But I didn't hand knit it, so it's not like a whole hood. It's
Right.
just like a bigger scarf that could fit over your head. And then I was like, well, I just want to make a regular never-ending scarf for myself. So I made
And here
this,
you are.
and
You're,
here it
you're
is.
a
Boom.
maker, Rob.
I'm a maker.
You're,
I'm
you're
a
not
maker
someone who
and a
goes,
doer.
"Oh, look at that! I should go look for that at a local store."
No, I
Rob
will
goes, "I'm going to
instead.
make that
Yeah, instead I'll spend twice as much money buying all the materials I need to make it
and make one,
and make one.
and then never make it.
And then I actually have a whole bunch of scarves because these are easy to make.
Oh, there you go.
So I made a whole bunch of scarves, but
Whenever
they're
you make more than one of that object, you have already paid for paid
right.
for itself.
Right. If
So
I
there
can
you go.
sell one of them, then I just made the money back.
See, that's
so.
the big problem with selling these sorts of things. Pagan makes some of the she knits some of those beautiful things.
Okay.
Like she is such a good knitter. Like
Okay.
it's crazy.
Mhm.
She knitted Vanjie's baby blanket. It's each tile has a different Star Wars face on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's amazing. And I'm like, oh, man, we should like you could open an Etsy store.
Yeah.
But it's you some of the blankets she makes are like hundreds of hours of work.
Oh, yeah.
And no
Yeah.
one is gonna buy hundreds of hours of work for hundreds of hours of work price.
Right.
When they could go to Walmart and get a
Yes.
big heavy quilt. You know what I mean?
You get a big heavy quilt for $20.
Yeah.
Hundreds of hours of work. You're talking a couple $100 for this blanket because it's hand knitted.
Yeah.
And it's like people don't want to pay that. Now, I know crafty people are more willing because they're like, oh, I know how much time you actually spent on that.
Sure.
But
and
it's,
there is obviously
yeah.
like there's benefits to it.
Mhm.
So, getting a hand knit one, that is probably pretty thick and
Yeah.
it's not a crap. But
yeah.
it is hard with those sort of creative
Yeah,
things
when
to make a
even
buck.
my mom years ago, she made like ceramics. She'd painted ceramics and same process, hours of time. And then like the whole set for the amount of time that you spent and paint and this and that, and whatever, you're talking a couple $100. You can go to Bed Bath and Beyond and get the same thing for like $30.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, like, for mine, it's $300. You Bed Bath and Beyond, $30.
Yeah, so you can check more about our feelings on textiles and the
Mhm.
economy on our other podcast, which is called
It's on NPR.
Bed Bath and BanthaMilk podcast.
There we go.
If you actually go beyond,
Way beyond. Yeah, I
it's
shop in the
BanthaMilk podcast,
Beyond section all the time.
Remember
Yeah.
the movie Click?
Yes. Oh,
Awful
that
movie.
was yeah.
Yeah, I went into that movie thinking I was going to get a fun, happy Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my gosh, it was such a depressing
It was
Adam
so
Sandler
sad,
movie. Yeah.
man.
When he like realizes that he just fast forwarded through his entire life.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think I walked out of that movie
I believe it because it is depressed. Like you want to
because
see
I
it.
had a certain expectation.
And it wasn't that
And it was
at all.
before the internet, and I
Yeah.
couldn't really research
Yeah.
it that much.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were supposed to talk about Star Wars.
We
today.
were back to Star Wars.
It is BanthaMilk podcast. We are
Uh-huh.
back for another episode. Hey,
Oh, that reminds me. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, yeah.
As we talk through all our
Uh-oh.
social medias.
as we talk to our, we're losing my video. I'm still here. Probably you probably not. Be able
I
to
can
see me,
still
but that's
hear
okay.
you.
But we are all over the place on the social. medias.
Yes, we're all over it.
You can catch us on Facebook at BanthaMilk Podcast. You can catch us on Instagram at BanthaMilk Podcast. For the moment, you can catch us on Twitter. I don't know how many checks we've paid for so far. How many red or blue or orange or yellow checks?
We paid for a lot of them. My bank account is hundreds of dollars later now because
Wow.
of all of the different checks.
That's good. Elon's going to be very happy
Yes.
about that. You
He
check out
is.
our Facebook group, Sacred Jedi Text, facebook.com/groups/Sacred Jedi Text. You can email us, BanthaMilkPodcast@gmail.com, or go to our website, BanthaMilkPodcast.com. You can also check out a bunch of our stickers at various Wawas around the South Jersey location.
That's
South
right.
Jersey area.
You sure can.
And if you want stickers to put at your Wawa,
Mm-hmm.
you should let us know.
Please
and if
let
you
us
live in
know.
an area without Wawa, I'm so sorry.
Yes,
But
very
maybe
much
you
so.
can put them on put a BanthaMilk podcast sticker on the gas pump at your Bucky's
At
or
your
at your
Bucky.
or on
Have you
display
been
at
to a
Circle K.
Bucky's?
I have
Have you?
like two or three of them.
Because I've never been, but I heard they're are
It's a
they?
trip.
Yeah,
It's a trip, man.
they're
So
like way bigger and way better than a Wawa
it's essentially Wawa and Walmart combined.
combined.
Like it's, you can't really compare them because of, it's the front third of it is maybe convenience store, and then it's clothing and like
Okay,
Bucky's apparel and like tchotchkes and doodads and like
right.
basically they went down to the bottom of the sea and asked Ariel for all her who's it's
Who's this and what's
it's.
this galore?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they sold
and
all that.
thingamabobs. She
Yeah,
sells all the
there's plenty of
thingamabobs.
them. Yeah,
Plenty of them.
but it's interesting that I mean it's Texas, and how often have you been to Texas?
I've
You've
never.
never?
I've
Okay,
never.
so the whole like everything's big in Texas thing, it's just true.
Bucky's is the epitome of that.
Yeah,
It
like
just has to be bigger.
like Ford has a like whatever the Ford pickup truck is,
Right.
F whatever 50.
150, 250,
Um,
350,
There's a
450.
Texas edition,
Okay.
literally, and I didn't see it until I was driving on the freeway in Texas. It's like got a Longhorn on it, and
Okay.
it's just bigger.
It's just bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The freeways like, driving through Houston is ridiculous. You got freeways twisting in and out of everything. So yeah, Bucky's is interesting. I still like Wawa better.
Okay. I did also hear about Bucky's. I think they were talking about it on Ears Up actually, that Bucky's also they pay their employees like $18 an hour.
That wouldn't shock
So
me. Everyone
everybody
seems
that's
very
working there
happy
is
to be
very
there.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're getting paid what a livable wage.
Yeah,
which
imagine.
is
nice. Yeah, I have a picture with me and Pagan and Bucky the Badger. They
Okay.
always have like a bronze sculpture of Bucky the Badger
Okay.
outside.
Very cool.
But yeah, I still think Wawa takes the cake.
Okay.
There are people out there who still like 7-Eleven.
Oof.
I don't understand those.
I don't
people.
understand those people
And then
at all.
there's people out in the Midwest who still think Casey's is a viable alternative.
Okay.
Casey's
never.
is horrifying.
Okay.
They have like made to order pizzas. It's bad. The only thing I think that comes close to Wawa, and we're gonna get some angry people talking to me about this, but it's Sheets. I like
Okay.
Sheets. I still think Wawa wins, but there is a big rivalry up here between Wawa and Sheets.
Okay. All right. I've never
like
been
Sheets?
to.
You never
I've
been to
never been to
Sheets?
Sheets. No.
I'm very surprised living in South
Yeah,
Jersey, so
no.
close to Philly for this long.
Yeah. No. Royal Farms just came
Oh
up
yeah,
here.
I like Royal Farms.
And their chicken. We've had their
outstanding.
chicken from Royal Farms. It's really good.
I'll
so.
take their chicken over KFC for sure.
Oh yes,
I mean,
I agree.
like,
Yeah, it's good.
I like a good Popeyes chicken,
Yeah.
but like KFC is like. Ugh.
Mhm.
Anyway,
so check them out. Check out all of our friends over at Ears Up as well.
with a
Ears Up,
Z.
Ears Up in depth. The Supreme Resort. Last week, Jimmy said, I'm going to talk about BanthaMilk, even though they say our name wrong. So there you go. The Supreme Resort. I said their name right. And also Scraping the Vault. And our friend Ryan, who was subbing in for you while you were out having a baby. Not actually you. That would have been a modern miracle.
Hey man, you don't know my life.
But true. But so he's starting his own, what's this thing called? Podcast. And
that's what we're doing here?
Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Weird.
We're not just talking for no reason.
I mean,
We're just being friends, hanging out once a week. It's
well.
fun. But so he's starting his own about Marvel and the Marvel universe and stuff. And I forget what it's called. He just wrote in here PP. The trailer for PP. Can you either push it on your feed or as a trailer or just pop it into your episodes later this month?
Let's make sure we push that PP.
So we're gonna push the PP. So Google PP into
don't
podcasts.
Google PP. Don't do that.
So yes.
Please.
So eventually I will get a full name for that one, but we will promote that again on our next episode as well. So that's all the social medias and all that fun stuff out of the way.
I think Rob, I see you've got some meth.
Oh yes, I have it sitting here. I didn't even have it yet. It's the same one that we had last time. Supernaut, just like astronaut, but super astronaut. That's how good it is. Oh, that was not a very good.
Yeah, there
pop
wasn't a whole lot of fizz to that.
No,
one.
there wasn't
I
a
hope
whole
it's
lot
not
of fizz.
flat.
A little disappointed.
Oh, it's a nice pouring sound though.
Yeah, it does have a good pouring sound. Still a lot of, as the girls say, a lot of head.
Do they say that?
I don't know.
I don't know, Rob. Oh boy, you can catch more of this on our BanthaMilk After Hours podcast. We're just gonna have all these sub podcasts that people are looking
That's
for.
right.
That don't
We can barely get people to listen to the first one, let alone the 13 other ones that we're gonna do.
All
right. Well, I will let that settle.
While Rob waits till he's able to drink.
Yes,
his beer.
and then you have your whiskey again as usual.
Always. And I like that. Rob gave me like a nice little glass coffee mug.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I'm in the morning sipping my little espresso.
Your little, yeah, there you go.
Except it's
little,
not that. It's
it's
the
a
other
little
thing.
bit spicier than
No.
espresso. Yep. So that's that. So all right. Let's take a real fast commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk some news. And in the news, one of the big feeds that Nick is very excited about is the new um game that's coming out.
Yes, the new game.
The new game. So let's go to a commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
I bought 2 of those last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. There.
I went
like
through the
it.
first one really quickly,
Okay.
but the second one is surprisingly resilient.
Nice.
And not as uncomfortable as you'd think it would be. You
That's
get used
good
to the
because-
chafing.
Yeah, you do. After a while, a little extra powder, and you'll be okay.
Oh God, I hope there's a commercial that happens before this. Otherwise,
We're just talking about nothing. Yeah, it's gonna be a little awkward. All right, let's
boy.
break into some Star Wars news because I got some things for you, and you have some things for me.
Star Wars news.
All right, so this one's pretty cool. I want to go for this one first because this is apparently a limited time. This was posted on December 20th. And it says for a limited time, so I don't know how limited it is. But Nick's a huge fan of Star Wars games. With this website called... Nope, that's not it. Where did it go?
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, here it is. Fanatical? Have you ever been to Fanatical's website before?
I don't think I have.
Fanatical, fanatical.com. They have... they sell like bundles of like keys to games in Steam and all that other stuff.
Right, it's like Humble Bundle.
Okay.
Have you heard of Humble Bundle?
Nope. So there we go.
So Humble Bundle is another one where you buy you can buy a bundle. You can get like the Star Wars bundle, and it'll be all these Steam codes for all these Star Wars, and like you name your price, sort of a thing.
Okay. Well, this one is on sale right now for $20. 14 Star Wars games.
Okay.
All on Steam for
What are they?
$20. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast.
Jedi Outcast, right?
Yep.
And now, before you go into this list, something to think about going into these games. First of all, you should buy them. You should play them. They're great games. Some of them are hard to play anymore. Like the
Okay.
Jedi Outcast game, the Jedi, like all those Kyle Katarn games. I have them. I bought these bundles, and they're such good story games. But like, because so much has changed in gaming, you forget how janky controls are.
Right. How basic
So,
they were back in the day.
So like if you get them on computer, it's better. Like
Okay.
on Steam. But if you get like one of these older games and you try and use a controller on them,
Okay.
it's really it's so hard to do.
Because the controllers are so sensitive
Yeah.
and so good now that the games weren't designed for that. So it gets really okay.
So like again, awesome. The Jedi Fallen Order or the Jedi Outcast games and the Jedi Academy games, the Jedi Knight games. I remember I played the Outcast. Jedi Outcast, is that the one you just said?
So the first one was
Jedi Fallen
Jedi.
Order.
Yeah, Jedi Outcast
Yeah.
is the first one.
Jedi Academy I played on GameCube.
That's also on here.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a good one.
So that one, Jedi Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2,
Sure.
Jedi Academy.
Mhm.
So all three of those. Star Wars Jedi Knight Masters of the Sith.
I don't think I played that one.
Okay, that one as well. Star Wars Republic Commando.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The Star Wars Starfighter game.
Star Wars Starfighter.
I'm pretty sure this was like a pretty old version.
Yeah, I don't think I played that one.
Join three heroic starfighter pilots in a harrowing deep space and planetary mission to save the planet of Naboo. Rookie Naboo pilot Rise Dalos, mercenary Vanna Sage, and alien pirate Nim form an unlikely alliance as they join together against an unexpected assault on the peaceful planet. I'm
What
trying
year?
to... It doesn't say in their little description here as to what year it originally came out,
What's the name of it?
unfortunately. Star Wars Starfighter.
I am intrigued.
It does look like it's like an original PlayStation type game.
Right.
So while you look for that, also the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the Republic Heroes, Star Wars Force Unleashed Ultimate Sith Edition,
Force Unleashed. So Starfighter came out in 2001.
2001.
So 21 years ago. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Both of the Force Unleashed games are good. The first one is excellent. The second one is, I think, okay.
Okay, and both of them are here.
Yeah, the gameplay on those are fun because the whole point of those were like, hey, the Force is fun. Let's make a video game where you can use it ridiculously. And that's
And
awesome.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Like you could break this was like 10 or 15 years ago,
Yeah.
so it was like a new concept at the time, but like you could like break everything around you and throw people into everything. And
Okay.
one of the scenes is literally you, the main character, pulling down with the Force a Star Destroyer.
Okay.
So like, yeah, it was a lot of fun and silly, but
That's fun.
it's complete ridiculous canon at this point because it's all about Star Killer, who is Darth Vader's secret apprentice, who
Okay.
helped to form the Rebel Alliance. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole
Check
thing.
it out. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So both of those, Star Wars Dark Forces.
I've never played that one either.
Okay. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords.
Yep.
Star Wars Empire at War Gold Pack.
Empire War is a good one.
Okay.
It's like a real-time strategy, right?
Product details. Command or corrupt an entire galaxy in this definitive Star Wars strategy collection. Yeah, it's a time of galactic civil war, blah blah blah. So yeah,
Almost like a
seems
Warcraft.
almost like a Warcraft type of game. Yeah.
Starcraft.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 Classic Edition and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And Knights of the Old Republic 2, I already said that, the Sith Lords.
If you're listening to this podcast and you haven't played Knights of the Old Republic yet, do it. Rob, have you played Knights of the Old Republic?
No, every time you tell
Dude,
me it's so awesome.
It's on you can get it on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like at this point, you play. You're not allowed to play any more Star Wars Galaxies until you play
until I play this one.
This one. Like it's a 20-year-old game and it's like the greatest freaking Rob.
Okay.
Before our next podcast,
I will download it on my phone. I will pay the $7 for it, whatever it is, and
it's
I'll
a little
enjoy
pricey, but it's a full freaking game.
I understand.
Can you have a big old iPad? It would look beautiful.
I do. It would look beautiful on the big old iPad. So all of these games, all 14 of these games, are only $20.99.
That's not bad.
They say the value is $100 value, and it tells you on the website how much. I guess maybe if you were to go to Steam individually, how much each one of these games would cost individually. Knights of the Old Republic on Steam, individually alone is $9.99.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy just that, you're going to spend $10, or you can get all of these Steam games for twice as much for $20.
Yep.
So
makes sense for sure. Yeah, and that's on
Fanatical. Yes.
Yeah, check that out for sure. Because I mean, I've played a lot of those games, and just about all of them have been a good time.
Yes.
But yeah, the big one there is Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic 2 is also a very good one. But Knights of the Old Republic 2, there's a whole kind of controversy around because there was a big rush to get it out for like the holiday season. And so it was pretty, like the ending was pretty disappointing.
Okay.
But there are add-ons and mods online that finish the game.
Oh, nice.
So like if you're one of those tech savvy people who mods your games on Steam, you can find some pretty good mods for that.
There you go. Limited edition Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Cat Sokka's Kettle Pin at Walt Disney World.
There was a lot of adjectives.
There's a lot of words, yeah. Basically, if you're a pin collector in Walt Disney World and a Star Wars fan, there's this giant limited edition pin symbolizing, I guess, Cat Sokka's kettle pin. She apparently is the person who it traveled to the planet Batuu at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, have probably smelled the sweet and savory aromas emanating from Cat Sokka's kettle. This snack shop in Black Spire's Outpost has been serving up specialty popcorn and other treats that are out of this world. Now guests can show their love for the fan favorite location with this limited edition Cat Sokka's kettle pin found at Pin Traders in Epcot. So Galaxy's Edge is in Hollywood Studios. If you really like it and you really like the popcorn place in Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios and you want to get a pin to represent how much you love it, you have to travel over to Epcot to get the pin over at Epcot.
Disney people are so weird. I'm sorry. I know we're on a Disney themed podcast and we're on a Disney themed podcast family, but my God, Disney people will buy anything.
They will.
Like I think that there is like, I don't know. I remember there used to be a thing at Epcot where like you get your picture taken and they put it on these stone slabs.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
so,
out in front of Epcot,
yeah.
You could have paid to have your a brick.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I have like 3 of them.
Do you
I
really?
think they're gone. I don't know if they're still up.
They moved everything when they were doing the remodel right before COVID happened. Then COVID happened. Now everything that they moved is now somewhere. Nobody
Yeah.
knows exactly
Yeah, my
where they
family.
moved it
I'm
to.
in there like with my parents, and I think like with my high school girlfriend.
Oh, that's cool.
Um,
I'm sure your wife is jealous about
oh
that.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, she's very mad at you.
But like, I would imagine at some point they're gonna find a way to capitalize on those things. Oh, remember these? You can buy your
Now you can
commemorative,
buy your brick
yeah,
back.
for
Yeah.
only $99.90, but you have to buy it at Universal Studios Paris. Like, give me a break. Like, oh boy, Universal Studios. Anyway, I mean,
Anyway,
Disney.
yeah, I got your joke. I see what
Oh
you're
boy.
doing.
But being pumped out right now. Oh, you're back.
I'm back. And we're
now
back.
Our other stuff is back. That's weird. I don't know
That
what
is
happened.
weird. Avengers Hockey said, I would love to replay Jedi Academy. Awesome story. And I love that you can choose your path as far as powers go.
Yeah, that was another cool thing that you can do in both Fallen Order or Jedi Academy, those games, as well as the Knights of the Old Republic game. Is, there are choices you can make, and based upon those choices determines, your light or dark alignment.
Okay. Yeah,
so-
I'm looking at the YouTube live feed right now, and I don't see your camera.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but
But it's okay because I'm still there, so that's all that matters. You can
That's
still
true.
check me out with the beard.
yeah, you're
All
the
right.
one that matters.
So while Nick figures that out, let's wait a minute. Do you want to stop and
No, it's fine.
okay.
Let's just keep going.
Let's just keep
let
going.
the good times roll.
All right. So while we're doing that, I also found out the Disney reveals the full list of Star Wars content with synopsis for 2023. So this is my favorite thing, and I love how this was the big feed in my Google email was 21 different sites all telling me every Star Wars movie and show, every Star Wars show that's coming out on Disney Plus.
Okay.
We all know that the Bad Batch season 2 is coming, and it is starting on January 4th. So,
okay, coming up soon.
By our next episode, we could have a rundown, and it's the first 2 episodes of it. This is interesting. It's going to be a long season, 16 episodes.
Huh? Why can't they do that with their live action stuff?
I know. 16 episodes. Episode 1 and 2, Spoils of War and Ruins of War, both come out on January 4th. January 11th, The Solitary Clone. January 18th, Faster. January 25th, Entombed. February 1st, Tribe. The Clone something Conspiracy. It goes into 3 dots, so it's a pretty long title on February 8th. 2 episodes on February 8th, actually, 7th and 8th. February 15th, 22nd, March 1st, March 8th, March 15th, March 22nd, March 29th, The Summit, and March 29th, dual episodes to close it out, The Summit and Plan 99.
Wow.
So 16 episodes spread out over 14 weeks, 13 weeks maybe. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully, I liked season 1, but going back and rewatching it was a little slow.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you. You're back on the YouTube. By
Yeah.
the way.
Now I use the I switched it to the camera on the.
Oh, on that. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. So it's a little different.
Yeah, that's all right.
I think it's the plug on that computer. You need to get your computer fixed, man.
Yeah, I sure
All
do.
right. Anywho, okay. So we're all back and running. So there we go. So 13 weeks, 16 weeks of episodes, or 16 episodes in 13 weeks. So that's exciting. So that goes all the way until
Into
March.
Right? All right. Which leads us into what?
Mandalorian season 3 comes out on March 1st.
All right. All right. That's not
So
bad.
we
Coming
will
out.
have the first episode of Mandalorian and the 11th episode of The Bad Batch overlapping each other.
Oh man.
I think they've pretty much avoided this, except for what was the animation one, Visions. Was it called Visions?
Yeah.
Visions came out the same time as one of the other shows was going on, maybe Obi-Wan or the one that just ended. I think Visions might have came out in between there or something.
Huh.
But we haven't had a full 5 episodes left of one show while the next show was starting.
Yeah, we've always had some like a lull between
Yeah.
the content, so that's interesting.
So that's very interesting. So March 1st is the release date of Mandalorian season 3. Did you see the original trailer for Mandalorian season 3?
Yeah.
Okay, because it was all like cutscenes from season 2.
Yep.
And some of the dialogue, Bo-Katan's dialogue, I felt was new because there was a part in there where she was talking about you caused a rift within our people,
Right.
talking to the armorer, because the armorer, your cult, like she said something, your cult, like whatever, has caused a rift between our people. So I think that's the only part that was like new, but all the video clips and everything were all from the end of season 2.
Yeah, and I think when I saw it, I like had to do a double. Like, is this like a fan made one?
Yeah, I thought it was a fan made one also. I
I'm
thought
just making sure I'm not like looking at like, I don't know, StarWarsTheories.com fan made Mandalorian season
Yeah.
3 leaked fake trailer.
Yeah, and it's some guy who just pieced together a whole bunch of stuff and whatever.
Which, more power to people
Yeah.
for their creativity, but get that crap out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
So all right, so we're gonna have some good Star Wars
Yep.
content.
And then we have
into March.
the Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures, and Avengers Hockey said we'll do it live while we were trying to figure out what was wrong with your thing. The Young Jedi Adventures, not much is known at this point, but will be okay. So we don't know much about that, of course.
Star Wars show for kids.
Star Wars show for kids. Visions season volume 2. That's that anime one. Yeah.
Right.
So also, and now from other than Mandalorian and Bad Batch, everything else is to be determined. What they won't tell us exactly when all these shows are coming out.
Like Ahsoka, which they've been teasing.
Ahsoka, which was supposed to come out
years.
before Mandalorian, is now coming out after Mandalorian.
Acolyte, we still don't know about.
Acolyte, yeah. So Ahsoka's the next one in the list of things that they're releasing in 2023. The Star Wars Skeleton Crew, in the New Republic era, is about a group of kids lost in the Star Wars galaxy trying to find their way home. Don't know when that's coming out. We said Ahsoka, and that's what we have on this one website. Visions, I guess, is the big one. Young Jedi Adventures. I'm sure it'll be a cute little kid one, whatever. But so that's all the movies coming out soon. And I think this is a good time for you to tell us about the game that you are very excited about.
Oh yes. So yeah, if you've been listening for any amount of time, you've probably heard me talking about Jedi Fallen Order, which was the most recent, AAA Star Wars game that hit like next gen consoles. They have released information about the successor called Jedi Survivor. Which I'm really excited about, and I'm a little bummed about too because of all the information that's out. One of those nuggets is that they're dropping previous generation support. So you're going to need a PS5 or an Xbox Series One.
So not PS4?
PS4.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually just figured that. I learned that not too long ago. I'm a little bummed about it.
Yeah, because PS5s are hard to find.
A PS5,
and when you can find them, they're outrageous.
$400, $500. So that is a bummer, but there are those out there who have been lucky enough to get them by now. But either way, it follows Cal Kestis. Cal Kestis was the protagonist of our last game, who was a escaped and on the run Jedi Padawan who survived Order 66. And you spend the game just kind of reconnecting with the Force and running away from Inquisitors, and it's awesome. If you haven't played, have you played it yet?
A little bit.
Okay.
I got lost and couldn't find my way back home, and
one of the planets, it might be Zepho. One of the planets is so frustrating.
Yeah.
To get it in and out. Like I will like. There are some times in that, and I love the game. It's awesome. But there are times that I'm playing it where I'm like, all right, I've been running around. I'm gonna stop playing. Yeah. And I'll come back to this when I'm a little less annoyed by how I can't.
I was like, I've gone around the same figure eight that I can go around 21 times. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be doing at this point.
Yeah, that can happen. It's a little frustrating, but the gameplay and the story, it felt to me like some of the best Star Wars content, like top Star Wars content, like Mandalorian storytelling level.
Okay.
It's great. And again, the characters are all really cool. You get a lot of really awesome tie-ins to stuff that happened in the Clone Wars, stuff that we'll see later on. So anyway, Fallen Order was, it was a couple years after, I want to say maybe 5 years after the fall of the Republic. This game, Jedi Survivor, takes place 5 years after that.
Okay.
So this is actually taking place around the same time as Kenobi.
Okay.
Which again is why I was like thinking when we saw in Kenobi like that little, oh my god, this is like they smuggle Jedi through. I thought we were going to see Cal Kestis.
Yes. Yes. We
Um,
were really looking forward and really hoping, or even seeing Cal Kestis's lightsaber on the
Sure,
wall, or that
sure,
one scene.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which and it would have made sense because the guy who plays Cal Kestis is like a pretty well known actor.
Okay.
But anyway, the actor's name is Cameron Monaghan, who was in what's the what is it called? Shameless. Shameless.
Oh.
Who's in
Okay.
Shameless?
Yep.
But yeah, it's made by Respawn, the game, which again, very good game company. Gameplay is by the looks of it much like the old one, but new sort of stuff going on. Cal Kestis has grown a beard.
Nice.
So,
Just like me.
I mean, he honestly though, like it kind of does look like you a little bit, man.
So
If
I
you were,
could
like, a little
cosplay
more
as Cal
rugged,
Kestis.
I think you could.
I have to just work out a little bit, and I could be Cal Kestis.
No, I didn't say cut. I said rugged.
Oh, rugged.
You're,
Okay.
you're too preppy right now.
I have to beat myself up a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit.
Okay. I'm in. Let's do it.
Now, another thing that they're talking about with this game is like Cal. So in the last game, Cal became a Jedi Knight, right? He was a Padawan. He was scared. He was running away. He faced his fears. He overcame his obstacles, and he became a Jedi Knight. And he was actually knighted at the end of the game by another Jedi. So it was pretty cool, kind of a thing to see. But this game, according to developers, kind of explores, Cal coming to grips with, what does it mean to be on one side or the other?
Okay.
Can you make decisions that are more gray and still stay?
And I bet if you played the game making some of those decisions differently, your gameplay could be a lot different than my gameplay.
I hope they lean towards that. Part of the problem with some of those is that, like, especially with Disney now, they're so careful about their canon.
Mm-hmm.
So like the old games were always fun because like in Knights of the Old Republic, there is a canon ending.
Okay.
And then there's also the bad ending.
The bad
like
ending.
Canon is you're a good guy and you saved the day. But if you become a bad guy and kill a bunch of people, there's also that ending.
There's that ending
and
too.
It
Yeah.
just doesn't count. So Disney doesn't seem like they're super into that, but I think they should be. I don't know. Because like in the last game, one of your companions, Marin, you find her on Dathomir and she's a Night Sister. And like there's all this talk about like the Night Sisters using their type of the Force, and it's really just so like it'd be so cool if in this game, because she's still with you, this character, like she's kind of a Padawan too. Like there's all this talk about training her in some stuff. So like, wouldn't it be also cool for her to train you a little bit?
Yeah.
And like for this Jedi to also use some Night Sister magic because it's the same thing. I don't know. I feel like it opens up a lot of possibilities, especially with like a light or dark side of the Force.
Yeah, yeah. Like you could definitely go down the dark side because the Night Sisters are more of an evil version of Force users.
Yeah, you pretty much. You know, when you visit their, planet and all their dead sisters are just in cocoons and raising from the dead to kill a bunch of people. Yeah, that's the bad guy.
That's the bad guys.
That's how you tell.
Yeah. That's how you can tell they're bad guys when they keep the dead around to kill you.
In life, if you are ever concerned and trying to figure out, is this a good or a bad guy? Look for hanging bodies of zombies.
Right. If there are zombies around, they're a bad guy.
The bad guy.
Yes. Pro tip.
That's right. You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here.
So yeah, it's supposed to be coming out in March.
Okay.
Which is pretty darn close.
Yes, it is.
Which means I have to try and figure out how it's possible with a baby and a lot of student debt to get a PlayStation 5.
Yes.
So if you want to
feet
send
pics.
Feet pics.
Feet pics.
We talked last time about making a Star Wars OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. So there you
Star
go.
Wars feet pics.
Yeah. So I think you should definitely.
My feet.
No, you can spray paint them green, and then you could be Baby Yoda's feet.
Listen, man, it's the internet. There's a buyer for every product.
There's people out there who will buy it. So I wouldn't say nobody would want to. I'm sure people would.
Either way, check out Jedi Survivor. Hopefully, come in March. Hopefully, I'll be checking it out and reviewing it on here.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks gonna be awesome. More good stuff. Like I just played the God of War Ragnarok. And I'm hoping they do to this what they did with God of War, because with God of War Ragnarok, they took an amazing game, God of War, and they like did the exact same thing and made it better.
And made it better.
Like they took all the good stuff, which was everything basically,
Right.
and they kept it. And they said, "All right, let's make things more interesting from here."
So we'll throw some Marvel stuff on top of it.
Exactly. Right. So, yeah, there were a lot of really solid, awesome things in the first game. I hope it's not just the first game again. I hope they take that stuff
Right.
and they like
Yeah. There's
make
nothing
it
worse than a sequel that's just the same thing with a different package
yeah,
behind it.
it's like a
Yeah.
different like wrapper.
Yeah, different wrapper. Yeah,
Like if you're gonna give me a new story, give me new powers, give me new
Mhm.
abilities, give me new things I can
Yeah, I don't want to have to relearn
accomplish.
everything all over again.
And that is that's always the video game trope, is that of course you have to get powered up, and like
Yeah.
in the first game there was like a really good reason for us to not be powered up. We were like, our connection to the force was disconnected, and we're like Padawans, but like
Sure.
this is taking place 5 years after we became Jedi Knights.
Yeah, so we're already Jedi Knights.
I shouldn't start without the ability to force push.
Yeah.
Like, like
Yeah, I should be able to lift the X-wing out of the swamp by now.
take my force push and let's amp it up.
Amp
now.
it up some. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But
Well,
that's
that's cool.
It's coming down the pike.
All right, so that is Nick's review of what he thinks the video game's going to be about.
That's
Bow,
it.
bow, bow, bow. All right. I gave us homework, which Nick didn't do.
No, definitely didn't.
Definitely didn't do
Sorry,
it.
bud.
So what I wanted to do, since we had a filler episode, was I was thinking of the top 10 scenes, and we could do this as we do all these other filler episodes of all the different movies.
Love it.
So why not start with the original movie, the most important movie in the series, episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, yeah. You see, I thought you were going for the Ewok Adventures.
We could have gone for that also.
That's all right, because I actually already have a list of my top 10 scenes for that.
Well,
in my
good.
back
So
pocket.
next episode you can bring that out. All right. So Phantom Menace.
Listen, for as much hate as Phantom Menace gets, there are some solid freaking scenes.
There's some
And
solid
some
scenes.
of the best Star Wars content comes from Phantom Menace, even if it's in a kind of a less than savory package.
Right.
But
So
let's hear your list here.
So
Rob.
let's talk about first what the Phantom Menace meant to Star Wars. When did it take
sure.
place and all that good stuff? So it came out in 1999.
Yeah, I remember. So I wasn't an early adopter of Star Wars because my parents weren't big Star Wars fans.
Okay. So how old were you in 99?
99, I was 12.
Okay.
But I got into Star Wars in 90, I think it was 6, because that's when they put
when they re-released all the original ones
theaters.
in the theaters. Yes.
So I went and I saw the original Star Wars in the movie theater it's the first time I ever saw it in the theater.
Okay.
And I went home that night and watched Return of the Jedi.
Right, because
I completely skipped over.
Somebody had it
Empire.
on. Yeah. Well, okay.
Well, my parents had them all.
Had them all on VHS.
I just
all right.
never watched them.
Okay.
And so I skipped over Empire because I was a kid and I just wanted.
You just want to see how it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't care about the story building in the middle there.
I was a kid. Who cares?
Yes.
I want to see the lights.
You want to see the Ewoks.
Yeah, and the Ewoks, of course. So yeah, that was it. And then I remember after that I joined because at that point it was fan clubs, right? You had to get the Star Wars magazine.
Yes, the magazines.
Stuff.
Yeah. So I was too old for I wouldn't say too old for, but I was at that age. I was so I graduated in 91. So I was 8 years out of high school. So I was, already in my 20s, I guess, at this point. So I was too old in my eyes for fan clubs and all that good stuff. But I remember
as we sit here and you're surrounded by toys.
I know.
20 years
surrounded
later.
by toys, 20 years later, surrounded by toys, and wanting to do cosplay to the full extent of it and all that good stuff.
Oh, young Rob.
Yes, I know. If I could tell myself then. But yeah, so I just remember this was a really big deal because I remember seeing Empire when I was a kid in the movie theater. I never saw Star Wars when I was a kid because I was only 4 at the time. And then Return of the Jedi came out in 86. And I definitely remember seeing Return of the Jedi in the movie theater. So this is 16 years have passed. I completely forgot about the re-release until you just said it. But I remember with my friend Slinky, the one who sent us some of the toys.
Sure.
He and I went, every year, I think it was, they had it maybe for every year or every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, it was closer. Yeah, I think 6 months.
Leading up to this, they re-released all the 3 original ones. So I remember us going back and rewatching the original ones.
Special edition ones.
The special edition ones, yes. And so we were excited then to see what had been changed. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But and I think it's really funny I'm sure some of the people who were way more hardcore into it back then than we were devastated that George
Right.
Lucas would change it. We thought it was cool
Yeah.
because we were like, okay, this is what he wanted to be able to do
Yeah.
in 77 through 86, but he didn't have the technology. So this is the
To be fair, in
culmination.
'96, he didn't really have the technology either.
No,
That's the
no,
problem.
but it was a little bit better, but it
Yeah.
wasn't what it was. Yeah. So then in 99, when this came out, it was like great. I even remember one of the top 10 things, and I have more than 10 because I compiled a bunch of different things from different websites after I rewatched it this week also to really remember it and enjoy it. Um, but just seeing that first the Star Wars coming up and the music and that first crawl again, I remember people clapping and screaming
Yeah.
for that crawl.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see Star Wars in movies again. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we thought Star Wars is done.
Yeah. And I remember my dad telling me that he heard, because even when like A New Hope first came out, it wasn't listed episode 4.
Right. It was just called A New
It was
Hope.
just called A New Hope. It wasn't until I think Return of the Jedi came out that it did have Roman numeral
Actually, I think it was
5.
just called Star Wars.
Or just
Yeah,
yeah,
it was just Star Wars,
yeah.
and then it was called A New Hope when they
Right, when they did Empire.
right.
Yeah. But I remember my dad saying that this was the middle 3 films. There were supposed to be 3 before it and 3 after it.
Right.
So he heard that somewhere way back in one of George Lucas's early interviews, because I've seen it since then.
Yeah, he'd been planning the
Right.
sequel and prequel thing for a while.
For
Since the beginning.
Yes, since he wrote the original script, he was saying, "Well, this is the best part. These are the middle parts."
It's kind of like Game of Thrones, how they started. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I was just listening to on the way here actually a video on the Blackfire rebellions, and like as I'm listening, I'm just thinking like, this is all like history set up for a book that has nothing to do with this time of the history. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
There's whole videos dedicated to this rebellion that happened 50 years and 100 years and 120 years before the main book series that I'm actually reading.
That you're reading now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's anyway.
And it's the same, like that's what George not R.R. Martin, but George
George
Lucas.
Lucas. I guess you have to create, like, if you want to make like any sort of fiction based upon like, you know, a political structure or like a large area, you have to have some world building.
Yeah.
So like if you start at the beginning, you haven't built on anything, but if you start in the middle, well, I already have all this stuff that happened in my brain that I'm now just handing it off, as opposed to
Right.
we start here.
We start here. Yeah. So that was 99. I remember seeing that scroll, that Star Wars logo, and just being like so excited for it and so excited. So here's some other things that were happening in 99. The Hurricane Floyd happened. Category Category 4 storm with winds of excess 140 miles an hour strike North Carolina.
Hurricane Floyd nearly killed my entire family.
Were you in North Carolina or as it came up?
As it came out.
As it came
well,
up
we
New
were
Jersey?
done. As it came up the shore, after it went by,
Okay.
my dumbass family went boogie boarding. All together, all 4 of us.
All 4 of you. If we're going down as a family.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep. So
12-foot waves on a boogie board.
It wasn't even that. It was just the undertow.
Oh, once you went under. Okay.
So we were all on boogie boards, thankfully. But like, my mom's not a strong swimmer. So like, I got in first, and then my sister got in, and then my sister was like in LIT, lifeguard training, and so she went in and like helped my dad get my mom in. But it was scary.
Yeah.
It took us like a half hour to get in.
I've been boogie boarding when the currents are strong, but never like after a hurricane strong.
Yeah, it was dumb.
And there's some days where you're just like, oh my, like in New Jersey anyway. I don't know how all the other beaches are, but they had the flag set up.
Sure.
You can only swim between here and here. And when the currents are pulling you, say left all the way down the beach, you start at the furthest right flag, you jump one wave, and then suddenly you're at the furthest left flag. You got to come out and go back again. So I've done that, but I've never done it with a hurricane. So that's, fun times.
Yep. Hurricane Floyd
And boogie boarding. Remember, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Columbine High School massacre happened in 99. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was a while is bad. Yeah, the euro currency was created.
All right.
It was the first time that the euro was created. Napster was created.
Napster.
Napster.
I tell my students in my digital music class about Napster, and
I
they do
loved Napster.
exactly what they do every day, and that they didn't respond at all, and they just looked at me. But yeah, I didn't. I wasn't a Napster guy. I was a LimeWire guy.
Okay. I think which I don't know which one was first, Napster or
Napster was
LimeWire.
first for sure.
Okay.
Napster was the big
Yeah.
I think I had Napster, but like by the time I got into file sharing, there were like several alternatives, and I think
Sure.
Napster might have already like started getting
Yes,
lawsuits
because
and
Napster.
stuff.
Yeah. And I remember by 2001, Napster was forced to shut down its music sharing service.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember like my friend telling me about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. You mean all those songs that I used to have to pay for, I can just download for free now? Like, this is unbelievable. Bill Clinton was acquitted of perjury and obstruction of justice,
Sure.
ending his 5-week-long impeachment trial, detailing the trials that centered the president's inappropriate relationship with former White House intern Monica Lewinsky.
Wow.
SpongeBob SquarePants premiered
That's right.
in 1999.
That always blows my mind. I
that
can't believe that.
I know, isn't it funny? Ford acquired Volvo in 1999.
Huh.
So now, if you have a Volvo, you actually you have a Ford.
I didn't know that.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 11,000 points for the very first time. There were floods in Mexico. Lance Armstrong wins his first Tour de
no.
France.
Not Lance.
Lance, and everybody loved them. And then
They
they
did
find out
then.
that
They did then.
they did then. So this doesn't really hold up that well, I guess. Jack Kevorkian. Do you remember Jack
Oh, man.
Kevorkian?
Oh,
The
yeah.
assisted suicide doctor.
Kevorkian.
Yep, was sentenced for second-degree murder of Thomas York for his assisted suicide. There was a tornado in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, killing 38 people. An F5 tornado.
It's a sad year.
It is a
99.
sad year. Let's see. Any more good stuff? Australian voters decided to keep the Queen and not become a republic. And the Millennium Dome opens in London. That's a good thing. So that's pretty
stuff.
much, a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And of course,
And the Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace comes out, the very first Star Wars movie to come out after Return of the Jedi, which is, as we all know, the beginning of what we now call, I guess, the Skywalker saga, the
Yeah.
Skywalker years. So here are some big points, and I'm going kind of from worst to first. This is like, there's so many like just one-liners in this that you're just like, oh gosh, like this one. This is the best. You're gonna love this one. Are you an angel?
Yeah, man. They did my boy Jake Lloyd dirty.
They did him dirty,
They he wasn't a great actor.
right?
Like he was a bad actor. But like
They didn't help him at all either,
who could have delivered those lines well, you know?
right?
Like I think a lot about like the child actors we have today and how ridiculously talented they are.
Yeah,
Like the Stranger kids are not kids anymore.
Mm-mm.
Like, let's get that out of the way. They're not kids anymore. When they were kids, they were like legitimately talented actors.
yeah.
Jake Lloyd was not that.
No,
I don't know what the criteria was in the 90s for being a child actor. It might have just been be blonde and a little annoying.
and smile and a
Yeah.
little annoying. Yeah,
Because like Haley Joel Osment was like the only like gifted child actor in the 90s.
in the 90s. Yeah,
Like, it was it. Like
that
you
was
want,
it.
you want a kid with acting chops, get Haley Joel Osment.
No. What about Macaulay Culkin? Was he, or
I
he
don't
was
think
80s? He was probably 80s.
He was
late
early
80s, early 90s.
Early 90s, but I don't think he was really even all that. I guess My Girl, he had some
My Girl,
decent
yeah.
acting, dramatic acting, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, either way, yeah, Jake Lloyd, like, poor guy.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I
So,
know he
yeah.
got bullied mercilessly and stuff
After
at
that,
school
and you're still
stuff.
bullying him now to this day.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But
fair.
you're also like defending him by being like, it's not all his fault.
It is not.
And the director could have helped him out a little bit there, being like, okay, can you try with a little, like, think that you're talking to blah, blah, blah. Think you're talking to your mom. Are
Can you
an
do it a
angel?
little less bad?
Yeah. The Senate hearings whole trope was just stupid, I thought.
Yeah.
It was so whatever. But it was like, this was like more political, and you're like, oh, but you do get to see now. I think the fun thing about it was we saw Palpatine as the Emperor
Right.
in Return of the Jedi, and now we see him just putting the pieces together, where before we saw the end of the pieces and we saw his demise.
Yeah.
Now we see how he started. So we have these scenes. My least favorite, Jar Jar Binks. I think he's my least favorite of everything. Last of the bad scenes, in my opinion, is Qui-Gon explaining how midi-chlorians work. You're one of my favorite things because they take the force of just the forces everywhere, and it's just this cosmic spiritual thing, and they turn it into science.
Yeah, man.
It's got to be science. Give me
that's it's not magic, bro. It's science.
it's science.
It's these tiny little
Yep.
like yerks that are living inside your brainsies.
Yep.
And when you point your finger at a donut, they grab the donut and they bring it to your face hole, and that's how the force.
That's how the force works.
And if you've got a whole bunch of these little bad boys in you, it means you're real freaking good.
That's right. So, as we talked about with some of the other shows, with Baby Yoda, they talked about it. What did they call them? The M counts or something?
M-count, yeah.
M counts. So
It's their way of you saying midi-chlorian
without saying midi-chlorian,
Yeah.
and then trying
Don't
to
say
at the
the
same,
word.
yeah,
Shh.
they're trying to
Midi-chlorian's
mix
a
the
dirty
two of
word.
them together. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, let's see, how can we mix science with magic? We'll just call them your M counts, but it also allows you to be magical at the same time. So they tried to like retcon it, and I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, the midi-chlorian, and you know the midi-chlorian thing was not something George Lucas just came up with. That was the plan.
Yeah, that was the
Like,
plan.
that's,
Yeah,
like he's always thought about midi-chlorian, but like it's not a great plan.
it wasn't a good plan.
Not a
Not
great
all
plan.
plans are great plans.
Yeah.
So the first of the scenes that are like pretty good now, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are fighting off the droidicas in the very beginning. Now that was fun because we saw brand new stuff, brand new droids that we never saw before.
And that was, the first time, we saw episode 4, 5, and 6. It's like, okay, cool. Lightsabers are amazing. But like all of a sudden, here's 5 minutes into the movie, two dudes who are crazy ass Jedis using their lightsabers in crazy ways.
Right.
Like, this is the most action we had gotten at that point.
In
any Star
episode
Wars.
4, like they didn't even know how to. They didn't even have like sword fighters on.
Yeah.
They just said, "Here's
Take
two
these
sticks
and whack each
and
other.
whack
with
each
them.
other." And there was
Then
very stand up, and they're like, "Oh, let's build on this." But now they were like, "Hey, let's get some martial artist guys in here to actually show them how to do it the right way." And then you were like, "Whoa!" Like
it's funny too because there's a drawback to that too, because like they never really thought about in 2000 or 1999 the fact that in the year 2022 people would be able to take every frame from the movie in 4K resolution, and
Right.
break it down and go, hey, look at that. Just about every single swing would have completely missed. Like literally the swings go above their head.
Yeah.
If you really see, it's like, but how freaking cool looking is it?
Exactly.
Like, shut up
Have
and
you
watch
se-
the awesome sword fight.
Have you seen the I want to call it a meme or whatever it is, the video going around now about the what did they call it? The move that is, hold on.
Between Obi-Wan and Anakin?
No, the makes me wonder why no one ever used this move before. The makes you wonder why no one ever done this is just what it says, but it's I thought he had a better title for it, but it's a two guys are just two regular dudes.
Oh yes, I have.
And he makes a lightsaber blade
He
go
turns it
away,
off and
turns
back
it off, and then back on again.
yeah, that is a good, like, hey, here we go. Nope. Boop.
Nope. Yeah. Like,
Fooled you.
I'm gonna nope. And while I just go right through your blade, I'm now killing you with it. So it was and it says, how come nobody ever did this before? Nobody thought of it until you, bud.
That's it,
You're the
man.
first one that thought of it. That was a good idea.
You are the chosen one.
You are the chosen one. That's
It was
right.
said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Anyway, all right,
The
so-
next line, that's a fun line, and it was, "There's always a bigger fish," as they're swimming underwater, was pretty funny.
big gooberfish.
Yep. We see E.T.
We do,
With
and
the-
it confirms that E.T. is a Jedi.
E.T. is a Jedi, and E.T. came to our planet, so we are somewhere in the galaxy in Star Wars a long time ago, and a galaxy
'cause it
far,
says
far
it's in
away.
a galaxy far, far away. So
Yeah.
what that must mean is that E.T. figured out intergalactic travel.
Right, he can
from
travel
one galaxy
between
to another.
galaxies to other
And
galaxies.
there is some talk about, in the new Ahsoka series, intergalactic travel, because like she's looking for Thrawn, Thrawn.
Okay.
Thrawn went with all those whales and Ezra out into wherever the
Wherever
unknown
those
regions,
ocean or
wherever those
space whales go.
go. But they can travel in, at hyperspace. So like
Yes.
they could be in the unknown regions, like outside the galaxy.
True.
So maybe there's got to be other galaxies.
Other
out there.
galaxies out there.
So somehow maybe ET popped out of his galaxy, came into ours.
I don't know.
The Force is
The Force is strong. Yes. So there we go. The Battle of Naboo was a great scene. This is
they had all those weird blue
all the
cannonballs.
blue cannonballs, the slime ball cannonball things were pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was fun watching the Naboo, whatever Jar Jar Binks is, Gungans fighting with kind of a technology more like a native,
as technological as primitive weapons get.
Yes, a
It was
very
like
technologically
cannonballs
advanced primitive
that are not
attacking.
shot out of cannons.
Yeah.
They're hurled by like trebuchets.
Yes.
But these cannonballs that are just giant
energy balls
short
that's
out.
just short. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they're shields, but the shields are like, ray shields. And,
Yeah.
So it's cool.
It was a cool scene.
Yeah.
So it was a very cool scene. And then this is a good one. Darth Maul when he ambushes Qui-Gon on Tatooine.
Yeah, there's something out there that's pretty funny about it because like when that attack happens, it starts with Maul coming in on his speeder.
Right.
And at this point, Maul has no idea who Anakin is.
Exactly.
None of them do.
No.
So Maul was just going to run over this kid with his speeder for no reason.
For no reason. He was just in the way.
Hey, man, there are two Jedi there. Kid, you're in bad shape.
Yeah, you're in the way, kid. So I'm just going to run you over.
Shouted, he would have just been roadkill because Maul just wanted
it. Maul was going. He was just what's the word I'm looking for? Casualty of war. He was just a casualty of war.
That's it.
There's so many reasons why Anakin should have never become Anakin and turn to the dark side. And
yet, imagine if it was just because like he got hit by
he got hit by a car. Oh, he's dead.
It's like that. We have the entire movie up to the Anakin, get down, and then he just doesn't get down.
He goes,
he gets hit.
What?
Boom. And then bum.
And that's the end of it.
Well, that's it.
Well, that's that.
Palpatine's like, damn,
all that hard work, jerk. All right, now I have to groom another one.
Yep.
We meet the Jedi Council for the first time. We heard about the Jedi Council.
Yes. Yeah.
But now we actually get to meet them and Samuel L. Jackson.
Sammy J.
So can't go wrong
What's
with that.
What's funny is the other day, speaking of Sammy J, we were doing scales in my class. And I said, hold on to your butts. And I said, as Sammy Jackson says in Jurassic Park, to which one of my students said, I'm sure he didn't say butts. And I'm like, Actually,
that's exactly what he said.
That's the line.
That's
look
the
it
line.
Up.
That's what he said.
And they were like actually surprised. I'm like, yeah, that's.
They're like, yeah, that's all. That's all he had to say. You got the point across. Hold on to your butts. Yoda explains anger, which was a good part. Anger leads to hate.
And at
hate
this
leads
point,
to...
it was 99, so we had the weird, crazy looking freaking.
Yes,
puppet.
we had the So this was the downfall to 99, and we've discussed this before. We'll discuss it again. This is when George Lucas was like, I can do it in the computer. So he had the weird computer Yoda doing all this.
No. This was the weird puppet Yoda.
Oh.
They re-released episode 1 where they put computer Yoda in because weird puppet Yoda was so freaking
weird. Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So episode 1 originally was released with weird puppet Yoda.
Oh.
And it was like they took the regular puppet Yoda.
Okay.
Like they did in episode 9 when he comes back and he looks like Yoda.
Yeah.
I guess they decided, well, this is, 50 years before, so Yoda should probably look younger, right?
So they tried to de-age him.
It was nightmare fuel. I got to look it up.
Yeah, you have to look it up and show it to me. Okay.
Horrifying.
So Yoda explains anger, and now I have to find the nasty puppet version of him. Qui-Gon's death was a big scene because this is when Qui-Gon tells Obi-Wan to, oh yes, the puppet version is because he still looks old and creepy, but now he looks weirder.
Looks like
weird.
he might be on meth.
Yeah, definitely looks like he's on meth.
So I don't know when they decided to take that nightmare fuel out, but I guess after episode 2 when they realized, oh, we can't make this puppet lightsaber battle,
right?
And we need
CGI him in. So we'll CGI him in. So
I think that must be when they went back and
fix
took out
him. Yeah.
Scary Puppet Man.
Okay. Qui-Gon's death was a big scene.
Yeah,
Important.
that whole
in it.
battle, that
The
whole
whole-
battle.
yo,
So
yeah.
that whole battle is number one. It's I think one of the best lightsaber.
Well, that's where I was
fights.
going to go with all the way. At number one is
Oh, I
the
see.
whole
I thought you
battle.
were
Yeah.
chronological.
Yeah.
All right,
So
go
this
on.
is just like Qui-Gon's death was like, oh
Sure.
no. Yoda reluctantly allows Obi-Wan to train Anakin, which was another vital because it's another one of those. If we didn't do this, we wouldn't have what we have here because Yoda originally said no. And then when Qui-Gon dies, he says, you must train him. So then Yoda's like, fine, whatever. And then, we find out bad things happen.
Yeah.
I remember this, and I remember sitting in the theater when this happened and being like, what? When we first see the appearance of Darth Maul right behind Palpatine, and he
just
comes,
sneaks up behind
steps
it in
in,
the holograph,
yeah,
or hologram, or whatever.
and we're like, whoa! I remember that was like pretty cool. The pod race was good.
Yeah,
the pod race was good. It was fun. It was interesting though. How Anakin's pod was broken down, couldn't start, was delayed by 30, 40
and
seconds,
somehow he
and
caught up.
was able to catch way up. But then once he caught up,
Then they couldn't pull
He
forward.
couldn't pull on
You gotta imagine if you're able to catch up that quickly with that much of a disadvantage, your pod must pull some serious freaking speed.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. What was Sebulba just kind of taking it easy the whole time?
Right. Now that he's here, let's pick up the speed a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
no, like
It is a little convenient for the storytelling purposes.
Yes. This was a fun scene when Darth Maul gets cut in half.
Yeah. I never really, I don't think realized as a kid, maybe I did and I just don't remember, but like when he gets sliced, you see that like flash of red.
Yes.
I like couldn't tell, is that like just dark side energy being released from his abdomen, or is that a spray of blood?
I think it was dark side energy more than blood.
Because like
I think it was the
right?
the lightsaber cauterizing both sides of it is what's making that.
Interesting.
Yes. So
Then he falls backwards and you're like, oh, I guess we're not going to, he sliced him in half. That's interesting. He's just, oh, there he goes.
Oh, there he goes.
Now he's in half.
Now he's in half. And now he's dead. Or is he? Because once again, as we learn anything about Star Wars, if you don't see the body, that's it. And then the number one scene is what you were trying to get to, but Duel of the Fates.
Yeah. Aside from the fact that the lightsaber battle itself is outstanding.
Yes.
It gave us one of the best musical themes in Star Wars.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's just
and it was
scene.
It was the first time that you see lightsabers being really used the way they should be used,
and against each other,
against each other. Yes.
Yeah. I guess I didn't even think about that. Like, there's no lightsaber duel in that movie until the end. And the duel.
Well, when Darth Maul,
there's a short little skirmish
on Tatooine. When he comes on Tatooine, there's a little skirmish, but then I think Darth Maul then like leaves, or Qui-Gon leaves.
Qui-Gon hops up on the thing.
Yes,
which is hysterical because like Qui-Gon hops up after they've taken off, and Maul looks up and goes, "Well, I guess he's gone.
I guess he's gone. I can't
jump up.
I can't. He just did it, but I can't do that. I can't jump up there. I don't have the jumping ability that he does.
He literally just turns the lightsaber off. He's like,
oh well,
damn.
I'll get him another time. And it was also funny early in the when I was watching it, when they were escaping Naboo with when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon were pretending that they were like marching them off as prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
When they start getting attacked by droids, there's one scene where like everybody's behind Qui-Gon. A battle droid is facing the wrong direction, looking to shoot towards the camera, and Qui-Gon just lands behind him and chops him in half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is he looking at? Everybody's behind Qui-Gon. Like, where did that come from?
One of my favorite things to do when I'm watching a movie like that is like in a big group fight scene where somehow miraculously one person is fighting off 1,000. Is to watch the people standing around who are not actively fighting.
Yes.
And be like, what are you like? You two, you could do something here. Like he's engaging these two while there's like 4 people standing around, just like, I guess
I'll wait my turn.
Okay.
When all 4 could like just charge them and
Yeah.
just tackle them and whatever.
Every movie.
Every movie, they all wait their turn, and then as I turn and look at you, then you attack
It's
me,
time. Let's
and then
go.
I do these moves, put you down, and I turn to the next guy and do the same thing.
It's very
Yes.
nice of them to queue up for the
It is.
for the ass kicking.
Yes, just wait your turn
Yeah.
as I go
I'll get
around.
to you. I'll get to you.
I'll get to
You
you.
get your
Don't
turn.
worry, it's not your turn yet. So yeah, so that was I did it pretty quickly because we've been going on for an hour already. But yeah, so that was it. So Duel of the Fates is the number one scene in that movie.
You didn't even mention the fact that you don't like sand.
I don't like sand.
I know that he doesn't say that in this
I-
movie, but there's a lot of sand.
There's a lot of sand in
It's
this
coarse,
movie.
it's rough, and it gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. It gets everywhere.
Of course, we returned to Tatooine in just about every single
yes. But
Star Wars
what
movie.
planet don't we ever go to that we should?
Nar
Shaddaa.
which is a moon, but that's okay.
We have to go to the moon of Nar Shaddaa.
I'm hoping Fallen Order
Yes.
or Jedi Survivor,
Okay.
but I'll never get to go there because I don't have a PS5.
You don't have a PS5.
That's it.
You have to watch other people
It's gonna
playing it on YouTube.
exclusively take place on Nar Shaddaa.
Well, the whole thing will take place on Nar
I'll
Shaddaa.
finally be able to take buy a PS5 in the year 2025,
Yeah,
and they're gonna patch Nar Shaddaa out.
they will.
We had a bug with Nar Shaddaa.
It was
it's
too
just-
it was too shiny. It was causing all kinds of reflections
Yeah,
and stuff, so we had to
this
get rid of it.
Jerk from New Jersey just got the game.
No.
So that's 10 great moments or however many that
More
was.
than 10, but
From
a
the Phantom
lot of
Menace.
big moments in the Phantom Menace.
I like that. I think we can make some good content that isn't BS over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We won't even have to make up stupid crap that other
Right.
YouTubers have to about.
Yeah,
Like,
make up lies about what's coming
rumors
out next.
about-
Yeah,
we got rumors about
Kathleen Kennedy's being fired,
Yeah,
possibly, maybe,
maybe,
because I
probably.
might have heard somebody say something mean about her once, so she's
Yeah.
got to go.
someone on Reddit said Kathleen Kennedy smells bad, so that means Bob Iger's firing her.
Bob Iger's gonna fire her. He released this other guy, so he's
Iger,
definitely
I
gonna
hardly know her.
let her go. So yeah, so we don't need to go through any of that nonsense.
Either way,
Either way,
you can. I bet we'll be back here within the next week or so with
Yep.
more Star Wars content, more BanthaMilk, and we'll be coming at whatever else happens. We'll be coming at you with episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Is it Attack of the Clones?
Bad Batch. Oh, the movie episode
Yeah.
2. Yes,
I
Attack
always
of the
mess it up
Clones.
'cause I always say Clone Wars, but I'm like, no, wait,
No.
that's the show.
Yes,
Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
And
Yeah.
maybe I'll do my homework.
Maybe Nick will
not?
bring 10 good scenes next time.
Hey man, I'm the color commentary.
You are.
Rob does the research.
I do the play-by-play. You just do the color.
So-
See, what happened here was he stepped back into the pocket and then he threw the ball.
You know what I need is like one of those pads
The
like John
pad.
Madden has. I can start doing X's and O's.
Dude, See, the
Here
Jedi
here
gag,
we have Darth Maul, and,
Uh-huh.
and you can clearly see up here the lightsaber wasn't going to hit him.
but he ducked anyway. And then over here is where he would have jumped over the blade, even though he was 4 feet away from the blade.
We need to. What we need is a technology upgrade.
We
That
do.
way we have like screens that we can do this on.
Yes,
I could be the Steve Kornacki of Star Wars.
you could. You
Like-
could.
Like if that's a pretty deep cut. If you don't know who Steve Kornacki is, you didn't watch the election, any of the past elections. Go look him up.
What,
I gotta wear
was he
khakis.
on CNN or CNBC?
I think he was CNN is Wolf Blitzer, and I don't know, I remember Wolf Blitzer during the one election was losing his mind the entire night. I think
And
he's MSNBC.
MSN,
Steve
I think it's MSNBC. Yeah, he was really good because he
Yeah.
knew everything about every single state. I don't know where he was getting his facts from, how many people he had in his
Yeah.
ear telling him like, Indiana has 927 constituents and this
Yep.
and that and blah blah blah, and like he was just
pulling it out.
pulling it out. It was crazy. So,
So
yeah,
I'll be the Steve Kornacki of Star
you will
Wars
be.
podcast.
There you go.
But either way, make sure you check out all our buddies down at Ears Up, Ears with a Z.
With a
Check us
Z.
out on all the social media platforms. Make sure that you send us emails requesting Rob keep the beard.
Keep the beard.
The more emails we get about Rob's beard, the more likely he is to, I don't know.
Probably get rid of
probably
it because
get rid
once
of it
somebody
because of my
compliments you on something, that's when I stop doing it.
That's lame, man.
It is lame. Oh, yeah, I got a compliment. Now I can't do it anymore.
All right.
Yeah. So,
Well, your beard looks like crap, brother.
well, then I have to grow it out now.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, man. But that's all we got from here at Bot.
At where?
I
At
don't even
Batu?
know.
We're on Batu
Yeah,
now?
you do.
Here
you
on
do it,
Nar
Rob.
Shaddaa.
You
From
do it,
all of
Rob.
us here at Nar Shaddaa at BanthaMilk Podcast, we have spoken.